what is your best or worst critique you've ever had so far?
That's a good question because I don't have the answer to both. I'd have to honestly sit down and think about that because, like I've said just before, like classmates and teachers have been very lenient thus far when it's come to these things. I mean, it's just pretty much like small nitpicky things like music or editing or like, I guess the biggest thing would be the second short film that I shot was something that I had written. It was a story that I had written when I was in high school, and I really loved it. And I thought, okay, I want to do something with this one day at some point in time. I want to make it into a short film, maybe even a feature-length film, but it had that short film potential. And I really didn't think, this is one of those things where like you have to analyze where you're at now and look back on it. Like just 3 years ago, I was a senior in high school, and I wrote this story, and like I was like, oh yeah, there'll be years down the road. And little did I know that my sophomore year of college, I'd be making it into a short film. And it took a lot of, you know, time and effort and coordination and having to reshoot things that were like, you know, what do you call it when, you know, things don't match in like different shots? The continuity. Yeah. There were so many different things that we had to go back and reshoot. I felt so bad because, you know, these were my best friends and I'm asking them to go through so much. But then again, at the same time, because they were my best friends, it was like, you guys can handle it. You guys can take it. So, you know, getting to do something like that, you know, where it just started out as something small in high school and then making it into actually like a, you know, your own in college was something that I thought was really, really cool and a great experience to get to do so. But, you know, your classmates and your professor I guess your professor more so because of check-ins and stuff like that we had in the class knew what I had to go through. But a lot of people in the class, you know, they were from cities or like other areas where their family were very like conscious about coronavirus. Not to say that it shouldn't be taken seriously, but a lot of people were just like secluded to their own house, and it was like a lot of, to me, and I don't mean to offend anybody if I don't think any of my friends from Penn State will hear this, but you know, I don't even know if I consider them just friends or colleagues at this point.
It will if you share and click that like button. Anyways.
Yes, I don't mean to.
Great way into it, you know.
Yeah. I guess that's a good point. But I don't want to like hurt their feelings at all. But like, you know, they didn't really go out. They just used like a lot of things that they did, whether it be documentaries or they're like experimental, or not, I guess they weren't experimental, but like they're narrative films. So this is gonna just go. I hope you don't mind. Like this is so. No,
go ahead because I'm gonna say something that probably will offend people.
Okay, all right. So our third film that we made last semester, that was supposed to be a documentary film, but because we got sent home, we had the choice to make it either a narrative film or a documentary film. Everybody chose boring stock footage and did a boring documentary about coronavirus. It put everybody, to me, it made me more depressed than I already, like, not that I was, but, you know, like, it just put you in more of a depressed state than anything. And then here I come. I thought I was maybe going to be, you know, I didn't know how it was going to be perceived. I was so scared. I was one of the last ones to go in the class. I made a satire about coronavirus called Anorak, just Corona spelled backwards, and it was just like supposed to be a little comedy thing about, you know, how like the toilet paper shortage and everything like that was going on. It was just like this couple arguing about what to get in the store because there was a shortage of things, but they were getting like the most non-essential things possible. And I just tried to be funny in 2 to 3 pages, and I thought I succeeded in that regard. But, you know, then when it came to the technical aspect of it, you know, people would critique you and things like that and tell you what you did wrong. But it was like, okay, well, you sat at home and used stock footage. Well, I went out and tried to shoot and, like, actually try to do something. And that's not, you know, we were limited, so I'm not critiquing anybody in that regard. But then when it came to the narrative filmmaking, you know, that was something we were able to do at our home or use the people around us to do. Again, I went out with my friends and tried to do things in our hometown, whereas like everybody else kind of just stayed at home and did something around their home. And you know, some people were really cool. Like this one girl that I'm working with now, who's still in my class, she did like stop motion animation and did something like really, really neat with that. And then I'm probably forgetting too, there were probably some others that were really, really neat. I'm not trying to criticize these people whatsoever, but you know, and that's not me like being, you know, I don't know what the word would be, like butthurt about a critique, but they're not taking it like maturely, like complaining about everyone else when you get you know, told what you did wrong. But I guess that was just my thing. The worst critique that I've ever had was just, you know, more so like, it is hard to say. Just like
Well, I think it angers you more because the critique that we all kind of remember is not that it's a critique, it's because it's hypocritical when the other person doesn't put out the work and critique you as well.
Yeah.
But what I'm about to say that might offend some people is, especially in the media field, which I graduated. Remember, I wasn't like straight filmmaking. You're going to be straight filmmaking. We have one of the easiest majors. And I think that hurts us across the board. Because you can see a lot of people that are coming in for all these different areas, and they don't really necessarily care about the media, but it's I got a degree from college type of job. And I notice that because there's kids that come out, like, and I'm showing my films there. I'm trying to get the best out of the college education that I can and the best experience, and there's kids coming in like, oh, I just shot this the night before. Yeah. And they're getting by. They're just going by in class. Like, teachers will pass them. And I understand that. It's like you don't want to, ever as a college, want to lose money. By not passing kids. Although you'd gain more money if you failed kids. But, they always want to pass the kids along through. And that's where I think it hurts. And you don't got to speak up on that part if you obviously don't want to. But I feel during my time, you saw half the kids that were there were like wanting to be there. The other half was there for just a degree.